So you want to delegate, but where do you even start? How do you give up control? This business is your baby. How can you trust other people to do what you do? Let's talk about all of that and more today. Hey guys, Abby Johnson here with Matterhorn Business Development. I am the CEO and head coach here at Matterhorn, and I work with people in all different industries. I've worked with over 40 industries, and across all of them, it is definitely a goal for the business owner to get out of the day-to-day, start delegating more, take things off their plate. But this can be a really daunting task. First of all, you've worked so hard to build this thing, and you are the best at what you do. You know how the day-to-day runs. You've set up these processes. How is anyone going to do what you do better than you? And then secondly, where do you even start? There's so much in your head. Where do you even start to start taking these things off of your plate? I want to address both of these today. So the first thing is we might need to reframe your mindset a little bit here. Yes, you might be the best at what you're doing, but I guarantee you that there are people who are better than you at certain tasks that you're doing. If you're doing your own bookkeeping, which I've had a lot of really smart, brilliant, great clients, but when it comes to doing their own bookkeeping, it's not the best fit because that's not their strength. You can't do everything and be the best at everything in the world. There is no one like that. I don't care if you're like Elon Musk. Someone's better at something than Elon Musk is, or smarter in some area than him, okay? So bring yourself down to earth for a second and realize that you might not be the best thing in the world. I'm sure you are great and you are great at what you do, but it is okay to need help and to start handing things over to people. And the thing is when you hand it over to someone else, they might not do it as good as you at first, but the important thing here is the training and you training them to do it how you've done it, your successful actions. I have a whole video on how to train employees effectively. I definitely recommend you check that out because that will help you here. But these employees are only going to be as good as you train them and you set expectations and responsibilities with them. Another thing I want you to keep in mind when you're training people is your mindset and relaying that to them. So for example, if you're training someone how to deal with customers and customer complaints, you need to talk more than just copy and paste this customer service message. You have to talk about the why, like, hey, the end result here is we want someone to stay on as a customer. You know, this is how you determine whether what they're complaining about was our mistake or their mistake. This is how you handle it. If your policy is the customer is always right, then okay, whatever. I might not agree with that, but if that's your policy, relay that to the person you're training. You have to really help them become the person of that role and have the mindset of that role that you're trying to train into them, because whatever it is you're training is more than just the doingness of it. It's having a mindset behind it. So for example, I was in a really crucial financial executive position at my last job, and it was really hard to turn that job over because it was a really pivotal role in the company, and I had recreated a lot of processes within that role. What I found was I was making all of these trainings that were, well, you click here and you go in the software and you push these buttons and this is how you do this and this is how you do that. And then I would find my trainees making mistakes that I thought were obvious, and I realized that I didn't put in the viewpoint or mindset of what is the purpose of my treasury role. My purpose is to do X. It might be different per company, so I'm not going to get into that, but I had to really train in and kind of relay how I was thinking through things as I was doing them, not just clicking a bunch of buttons, but hey, we do it this way in the software because if you don't, the person over in delivery isn't going to be able to see it, and then they'll get confused, and then this person's going to get a thing for free when they shouldn't have gotten for free, and it's like a whole thing. But if you don't tell someone that, then they're going to go just click some buttons and maybe think they're doing it better in the software a different way, but you need to tell them why your way is the way that works and why you set it up that way. Okay, so now that we've talked a bit about the mindset and viewpoint going into this, I want to talk about how do you actually do this? How do you know what kind of person to hire, what kind of tasks to give someone or give an assistant? What do you do to take things out of your head and give it to someone else? So the first thing I want to do is probably for a full week at least, just start writing a list of tasks that you're doing throughout the week as you're doing them, because I'm sure you're doing doing things all over the business. What I do here at Matterhorn when I'm working with someone is I break things down into the 4 pillars of business basics. These 4 pillars are marketing, sales, delivery, and management. You as a business owner are probably doing things in all of those buckets or categories. So just start kind of dumping, even if you do like a random thing, like on Thursdays you do an inventory order, it's just a once a week thing, or whatever it is, tiny, big, make a list of the tasks you're doing. Once you have those tasks, then I want you to put them into these 4 pillars or these 4 buckets. So if you make something like this, just a little simple grid with marketing, sales, delivery, and management, and start assigning the tasks to those different buckets. So first of all, that's gonna let you see where you're spending a lot of your time. Maybe you're really marketing heavy, but that's not actually your biggest strength. A, it's taking up a lot of your time, and B, it's not where you shine. Like, you do best with sales and dealing with the customer and improving delivery and stuff, but marketing and ads and all that stuff is not really your thing. That's great. That's like the best case scenario of it's something that's taking up a lot of your time, but also something you're not good at. So it's really easy to hire someone else who's better than you at that. And then you can clearly see, okay, I can give someone these marketing tasks off of my plate. Now, the other thing might be sales tasks or management tasks. And just to clarify, management would be HR, finance, company policy, legal, and then like future goal setting, visionary work for the business. So you might have little HR tasks or little finance tasks that you're doing that really could be handed over to someone else who may know those things better than you, but maybe these tasks are also more suited for someone at an entry-level position. So you as the business owner, as the CEO, shouldn't really be spending your time on these entry-level tasks. So one example, which this might not necessarily be entry-level, but accounts receivable, collecting money due for invoices. Someone else can do that. You as the business owner don't need to be doing that. If you have some sort of super successful way of like, hey, I email this person 5 times with this exact wording and that's how I get them to pay, great. Someone else can send those emails or those phone calls for you. This is something super easy to get off your plate. So just take a look now at these different buckets, your tasks within the buckets, and basically start to weigh out, what are you not as good at? What's taking up and eating up a lot of your time when you could be doing something else like making more sales or something like that. And I would also encourage you to group these tasks in this way when you're handing them over to someone. So let's say you hire a new assistant, and I understand that an assistant, especially if you're a small business, they might have to do a little bit of everything like you are, but it's a lot easier when it's maybe only 2 of these buckets instead of all 4 of them, because it does actually take someone brain power to switch from task to task. I'm sure you experience this as the business owner, but if you can lower that for the person themselves, they're going to be much more productive for you. So an example of this is I had a client recently who had someone in delivery. So they were doing the actual service. They were providing the service of the business, and she was doing that 20 hours a week. And then the other 20 hours a week, she was doing the personal assistant or executive assistant work and things in management, helping him monitor numbers and statistics, monitor certain numbers and dollars coming in and out and things like that. So she had 2 very distinct roles she was wearing, but they were still distinct. It wasn't delivery and then doing some money stuff and then also doing some marketing stuff and then also answering phone calls from leads. It was still distinct and in its own bucket or pillar. So that's how you're going to know kind of where to start, what types of tasks to start giving out to people and delegating. And as I mentioned before, definitely check out my video on how to train employees effectively, because that is so key here in delegation. And it's really the only way that you're going to be able to delegate to someone and feel confident that they can deliver to the same standard as you. So if you have problems organizing your business, growing your business, and being more profitable, check out our program, Adventure to Profit, below. Whether you are just starting out in business or you've been in business for a long time, we have a package that's going to suit you and your needs, and we can help you get there. And finally, check out our channel sponsors, MetaPulse. They have everything you need to monitor the growth and success of your business and your employees. So check them out below for a free trial, and I'll see you next time.